From woo-woo to wow. Bridging the gap between the mystical and the scientific.
The journey from out there to in here.
Join me, Dr. Patrick.
And me, Dr. Rita, as we make the seeming intangible
tangible.
This show will expand your mind.
Open your heart.
And make you say, wow!
Well.
Where are we?
We are in our living room with a wonderful little painting behind us.
Yes. Do you remember when we got that painting?
I do. We did. We bought it for each other on an anniversary when we didn't have very much money.
I hate to break it to you, but it was Christmas.
All right.
He doesn't remember.
I don't remember. But I remember my mother was there, so it must have been Christmas.
Okay, so what? Well, you probably wonder who we are, right? I'm Dr. Rita.
Dr. Patrick.
And we are here with our 9th episode of From Woo Woo to Wow Wow, which we are calling When the World Seems to Have Lost Its Mind. Bring your woo woo to wow wow. Or turn your woo woo into wow wow. When the world seems to have lost its mind, turn your woo woo into wow wow.
Yes.
And
if you're meeting us for the first time, it must be rather frightening.
I would say that the world seems like it's lost its mind. And I shouldn't even be smiling, but things have been a bit crazy, right? We need to acknowledge that for a moment, that
yes.
Things have been crazy. And
not just globally, just in life in general, you know, it can get crazy. And I think we talked about it last time about the collective. And, you know, that's energy out there. You know, you can have whatever beliefs you want about that. But I'm just saying that for me, this collective energy is a lot, too, to deal with.
Yeah, I got to get situated
we're
trying to get comfortable on our couch here.
Yes, we're used to sitting up in the chair, so here we are trying to be a little bit more cash.
All right, but what we're talking about is really, really powerful. And we're talking about, when we say bring your wow to what's happening in the world and when the world seems like it's crazy, we're talking about quantum thinking. Are you a quantum thinker?
I'm a quantum activist.
Yeah, I'm learning to be a quantum thinker. It's a shift from the idea that everything's out there to everything's here within each of us.
Right.
And that we're all entangled as one energy, one mind. When that's the science of mind principle also. There's only one mind, right?
Right.
And there's only one field of energy, and we're all in it. And so we are all affecting the field at all times, right?
And that's what people call woo-woo. Just what we just said is like, I don't even know what they're talking about. It's so woo-woo. It's like we have to face the facts, and we have to, okay, once you face the facts, once you've already said it, it's not really news anymore. But so to keep repeating it is just to keep repeating a pattern that needs to be changed. So I'm not going to even, beat around the bush. The world right now, our global community is going crazy.
Right.
And I say,
and it's not just the United States, although the United States seems to be leading the way lately, but we won't get into that.
No, well, it's not leading the way, actually. The other countries are starting to really jump in and become their own entities, to be honest.
Right.
And so some of that is like, very powerful, that we have marches and we have things that people do not agree with what is going on in the world. And this is the first time in history, I just heard this yesterday, first time in history that other countries have actually been protesting with the people in the United States. And this isn't about who's right or who's wrong. This is just about human rights. This is about human rights.
Let's get out of that. This is not about right-wing, left-wing, Democrat, Republican. This is about right and not so right. Like Patrick is saying, the way that people are being treated, the way that we're treating each other, mostly treating each other because we are, and we're all entangled. So in the quantum world, we're all connected, right? So when we're thinking...
When you say that, what do you mean we're all connected?
I mean that there's one field of energy.
Right.
We all breathe that energy. We all are in that energy. We all are... There's nothing outside of ourselves. Everything we're experiencing is within here. We just lost a person in our congregation today. She passed away. And what I know about that is what she experienced, we're experiencing because we're connected. And so what we think about her as she's made her transition, we start thinking, oh, the poor thing, and blah, 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 blah. And, it doesn't mean that we're not sad, but we can buoy her energy by buoying our own energy and wishing her well and knowing that she's on to her next adventure and sending her lots of love and light and all of that. So we're all connected. What we think, what we say, well, basically what we think, especially with feeling, affects the vibration of the magnetic field, and that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing what's happening with everybody in such animosity and division, and you're right, I'm wrong, and every point is being argued, and certain people are trying to take control, and control is a big thing, because another thing about the quantum and the new way of looking at the world is collaboration, not competition.
Right.
So we have to start, I think, if we want to survive all this, is to start thinking together more compassionately and more lovingly.
Right.
And starting in our own backyard. Right?
Well, in the meantime, when the world is not doing that, what do? What's the idea? I mean, that it goes to self.
Right.
You have to take care of yourself. And I don't mean take care of yourself. We need to take care of our communities, but we can't do that if we're in this state of war in our own mind. I was just doing a workshop a couple weeks ago, or whenever our sacred journey was, and it's that war in your mind. Half the stuff that we're talking about right now and dealing with, there's a war going on outside, but then there's a war going on inside. And it's very important to gather our own forces for ourselves, and
Yeah. So the quantum world, the quantum thinking, which is the new science, it's not really that new. It's been going on since the 20s, probably. It's probably been going, but I mean, it's been noticed since the 1920s, maybe a little bit before that, is saying that we're observing, and the observer and what I'm looking at is one thing. It's not separated. So how I observe something is how it is. It's just like people have different experiences. They might be in the same exact experience and yet have a totally different experience in that experience, right? Mm-hmm. That's to me an example of the observer and the observed. So it's one thing. It's not two things, it's one thing. So it means that if we get into a more coherent way of thinking, a more coherent way of feeling, that we're going to affect the seeming chaos. That's what I believe. I don't just believe it. It's quantum and it's proven. And I'm not going to go into that because you can look it all up yourself. But what I do know, and this is like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I mean, it's like this message has been preached over and over and over again. And frankly, yeah.
I do have something to say, because I don't want to take this into a downer. Heavy. No. Yeah. I want to bring the we're talking about woo-woo, and I just heard it the other day. Somebody said, oh yeah, they think we're woo-woo, as though that's a negative thing. And so what I'm saying is that right now, the world in which I live, I should just speak with I, not we. You might be jumping for joy where you're at, and that's great. But that's, what did someone say? That our grandfather, Golden Eagles, said, find the joy in the conflict.
What does that mean to you?
And, well, what it means is, instead of going, the world is at a Chicken Little, this is it, oh my gosh, it's only creating more and more of that. So joy in the conflict to me is, where can I find something good which is happening in our life right now, as far as politically, globally? How do I find the joy? And the joy that you're finding is there's got to be some good behind all of this. And there are people you're going to talk to that are going to go, yeah, well, this is really good. I don't know what world that they would be living in, but it's not the world that I personally live in right now. So what we're trying to find is some happiness and some joy, and they call that woo-woo. We're not bypassing anything.
Right. Well, for the joy and the conflict, what I feel like it is, and that was a good explanation, I feel like it's finding your joy, no matter what the conflict is. Being yourself, being true to yourself, Like sometimes we have problems with our own families, I know, or conflicts with our own families. And we can't, I have a family, we have different belief systems, totally different belief systems in my extended family, my brothers, sisters, all of that. Totally different belief systems. I can't argue with them. And if I do, it becomes like a conflict. They're right, I'm wrong. They're right, I'm wrong. But if I can find my joy in the conflict, my peace in the conflict, believe what I believe, then that dissipates the energy because we have nothing to argue about anymore. We can just say, yeah, you think that way and I think this way. And there's no point in discussing this anymore because what would be the point if we can't agree? So just finding my joy in the conflict is finding my peace so I don't feel like I have to argue.
Right.
And which brings me to another quantum point is that we are frequency, we are energy.
Absolutely.
Right? And when we all think from different frequencies, we all are different frequencies. So there's some people that are really panicking now, and there's other people that are really angry, and there's others that are just kind of like, okay, I know what I have to do, I know who I am. What's your frequency? I'm going to ask you that. What is your frequency? Write us and tell us.
And frequency is your level of energy.
Right.
How are you perceiving, and then how are you reacting? Are you reacting or responding to the world that we're living in right now? And I think we're all trying to bypass to some degree because we don't want to step on toes. We don't want to do that. We talk every Sunday, and it's very difficult sometimes because we have beliefs. But and someone even said that, I appreciate you not bringing your political views. I mean, I think that there comes a time, it goes beyond politics, but it is political right now. Let's not pretend. I think it was Marianne Williamson, they said you wrote a Return to Love book and you're out there, resisting until we are resisting. I'm resisting anything as far that hurts another person in any shape or form. I'm for anything that are going to have our children not being able to eat. We're in a political world because our government is shut down. I'm not going to, because I feel like I'm a spiritual being, I'm not going to hide the fact that we're in a shutdown. We are in a shutdown, but there's a metaphor for that as well. We are emotionally shut down as well. We are trying to not be in conflict, but we already are in conflict, instead of just saying, you know what, this is what I'm feeling right now. A very good friend and a client passed away today, and it makes me feel sad. It makes me feel numb. And numb is a dangerous place to be. The quantum field tells us there is a place that we can be, because we are that has pure potentiality. Right. And that is something to be happy about. That's something it's pure potentiality. It doesn't know any of the nonsense that we are doing in this conditional world, because there's another world within this world that says we are vibrating at a frequency of something very, very powerful, and that's who we're made of, what we're made of.
Right. And what if we were to think about all of this chaos that it feels, our planet, hurricanes, look what's happening in Jamaica right now. Right. What if we were thinking of this as a new world being born, instead of just, chaos and destruction and all of that? What if we just knew that everything has to fall apart in order for something greater to be born? And there's a lot of things that weren't working at all, right? Like, I don't feel like we're ever, this is a statement, but I don't feel like we ever can go back to the status quo that we were in. We were like asleep. And that's why this all started to happen anyways, because we were asleep and we weren't paying attention. We're putting all the power into the hands of those that we elected or didn't elect or whatever, and they'll take care of it. But no, I feel like the people are rising. And the more we can think from the quantum perspective of coherence, of entanglement, of unlimited potential, of, yes, being in a field of uncertainty and not knowing what's going to happen is actually a really powerful place to be, because we're not creating from the old. We're just saying something new could be born right now. But it's not going to be born from, it's going to be born from whatever our frequency is and whatever our energy is putting out, and however we're observing this. And if we continue to treat anger with anger and hate with hate, no, it's not going to be that. And it's just not going to solve the problem. And we have to, for me, I just have to stay centered in the now, stop projecting what's going to happen. I don't know, but I know who I am. Keeping to remember who I am, doing my meditation practices, doing what I can do, bringing my light to the world. What light do you have to bring to the world? What do you love? What brings you joy? These are the things we could be working on. We're the creatives, right? I mean, I feel like I am. Do you feel like a creative? How about you, Patrick?
I do feel like I'm creative. I just feel like it was, when you were speaking about rising, we're not rising up for conflict, to add more conflict. We're rising up with responsibility that we have, or as Dr. Michael Beckwith called it, we have been sleepwalkers. We have been walking around because, my opinion, is because we're so busy surviving that we are forgetting that we are also thrivers. And that's where the quantum field comes in. That's where this idea of woo-woo, oh, you're just, you're bypassing, you're spiritually bypassing. That is nonsense. There's not a way in the world that anybody who has a pulse these days could be spiritually bypassing. It's just not. All is good because all is good. Yeah. But I think it comes to where we have to get passionate enough to say that our life.
Be careful about saying all is good, because they might not understand that.
We have I'll explain.
Yeah,
we have a philosophy that has a tendency to be caught up with everything's good, it's all good, and just what people call the Pollyanna attitude. A higher look at it, a new perspective that isn't so grim. And I'm thinking to myself, I used to say, they go, well, you have kind of a Pollyanna attitude. And I'm going, I had to look it up first of all, who Pollyanna was, but now I did. And but if thinking for the betterment of life is woo-woo or is something wrong with it, then I'm Pollyanna, because I'm not going to continue to go on this downward shift that is like, Chicken Little. The sky is falling. Right. Well, the sky is falling. I would say get out of the way, let it fall, and then move forward.
Yeah, that's good. Let it fall and then move forward. We can't hold it up anymore.
Right.
Right. I have lots of friends that have shoulder problems, and I'm wondering if they're trying to hold up the world. Mm-hmm. We can't hold it up anymore. We have to bring ourselves to a center of coherence. Be the eye in the middle of the storm. The eye in the middle of the hurricane is total peace. We can be that peace now. And it's not woo-woo, because what we know, and I'm going to say it again, is that how we observe, and the observer and the observed is one thing. And you're observing it from your consciousness. So where is your consciousness? Where is it right now? And you don't, okay, I'm not making this up. I want to keep saying that, because these are proven principles, that the observer and the observed are one thing, that we are entangled, that there's been plenty of quantum experiments done that have proven this. And I think you can really, if you really think about it and you really center yourself and you really feel what you feel, you'll understand what I'm saying. And you can do so much. We can do so much by just being the best us ever. By just being the best. And, a couple of principles, like observing what's happening, but try to stay out of judgment. That's what they were talking about, Golden Eagle, about not judging. Right. We judge everything. Right. And when we judge everything, we separate ourselves from it. If we really realize that what we're looking at, we're mirroring, and if we could just look at it without judgment and just be an observer, and then bring ourselves to a centered place. And I'm sorry, it takes spiritual tools. It takes spiritual tools. I know for myself, I have to sit there in meditation. I don't sit enough, and bring myself to a peaceful place before I start my day. Otherwise, I'm just raging out, whatever hits me, because, things are going to come up. We've had plenty of them this week, haven't we? Right. And but if we're not steady and not ready to face those things, then we're just going to be like, I don't know, just flinging out there into the universe with no compass. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a little bit like we're trying to convince you of something.
No, I'm convincing myself.
And
maybe.
right, and I'm just saying that we don't need to convince you of anything, and you know that. My message for myself today is to stop looking outside of myself when there's an entire field of potentiality that lives right where I'm at. And I have all the answers somewhere, and then when I don't know the answer, then I just simply live in the I don't know.
Right.
And that is more than enough. And so what can we do today? Let's have an action pack, something that we can take action with, to go out into the world and be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind. Find a way. Say, I'm going to find some way to be kind. That's everyone's scared. So what we can do when someone's scared is, we say the little boy, the little girl, they're scared and they're running around going, I don't know, and that makes you feel vulnerable, it makes you feel scared. But all we have to do is take one moment to go out and smile. Or I tried to help somebody in the emergency room the other night, and he looked shocked. He was trying to get his mother out of the van, and I could tell it was a strain, I could tell he's done this before. And
yeah, what did he say to you?
I said, is there anything that I can do for you? And he was like, no, but why are you saying that? He looked so confused. And then when it kind of like dawned on him that I was just trying to help him, I didn't even try to help him. I'm just saying, if you need anything, I'm just sitting here staring at my cell phone while I'm waiting. If you need anything. And then he looked very puzzled because no one's used to anybody.
Yeah, nobody's used to people reaching out and helping.
So, and then he looked at me and goes, well, is there anything I can do for you?
Oh.
And I'm thinking, wow, what if we said that? Is there anything I can do for you? Yeah, but look at they're looking over there. What if we took the places that we can do that? So that's my message.
Yeah, I mean, take one small action of what Patrick's talking about. We can take one small action, just one small one, like what you said. Can I help you? Is there anything I can do for you? That could just change somebody's whole day.
You can interrupt them.
It could change somebody's whole day. And it also is a ripple effect, because as we have those feelings and do that and take those actions, it ripples out into the field, and it's felt everywhere. Right. When we meet on Sunday, I always say that. When we meet on Sunday in joy, and we're singing, and we're enjoying and being inspired and inspiring each other, that's felt out in the field. If it's true, and it is true that we are entangled, then everything we do is felt. That one small action you took is felt out in the field that we're all living in.
Right.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of hope and a lot of opportunities for us to really turn all of this around, not just even turn it around. I want to say birth something new from it.
Birth something new. Absolutely. And then one piece of advice, which I don't like to give, but I invite you, if you're ever filming anything, like what we're doing right now, the couch is not the best place to do it. And I'll tell you why. When I was in acting, there was a thing that they talked about when you're on the set.
What?
They used to put, our director would put boards underneath the couch, because what would happen is you'd be in the middle like we are right now, and then before you know it, they're like this. Oh yeah, welcome to my.
Well, we haven't been doing that.
No, I haven't.
Really
but that's what I've been wanting to do.
Oh, I know.
I kept feeling
I kind of want to do it too. Okay, well,
I just wanted to lighten up for a moment.
I know, it's good. And so, so when we see from the eyes of wholeness and of connection, and we can make changes. We can make changes in our own, like Patrick said, within our own circle. We can do so much, and it makes a big, big difference.
Right.
You feel it. You just feel it when it's true. And yeah,
I'm a big component of whatever you're feeling, let yourself feel it. Don't get trapped in it and want to live there forever, because if it's not serving you. But these emotions, like, I don't want to feel this, and this is making me angst, and this, it's okay. Just take a moment, because you're going to feel it anyway. So you might as well just, remember who you are, and you're spectacular, and you're magnificent, and we have a lot to look forward to. We have to think of the fact that I'm stuck with Chicken Little. The sky's not falling. We're going to be okay. But we have to look inside here first. Yeah. We have to find out who we are and what we're responding to, and we cannot change the whole world. You can't change yourself and be whatever it is that you want to be, or what is the quote? Be the change.
Well,
be the change.
Be the change, Gandhi said. So let's take a moment to take a deep breath together.
I'm going back.
All right, close our eyes for a moment. Take another deep breath. And get in touch with the rhythm of your own breath without trying to control it. Just feel how you're being breathed, really. Life is breathing you right here and right now. Notice yourself and the frequencies you're emitting right now, the frequencies you're emitting right now. Bring yourself to a centered place within your heart. Maybe put your hand on your heart if that feels good. And continue that breathing. And feel your consciousness, your breath, your thoughts, your everything right now, just rippling outward, harmonizing the field, bringing peace to it. Right here, right now, bringing peace to this beautiful field of energy that we all inhabit, that is the very breath that breathes us. You are the quantum field in motion. All right, take another deep breath, bring yourself back. Just that simple little exercise can get you centered, when you're standing in line in the bank or at the grocery store or driving in your car. Don't close your eyes, but realize that in any moment you can center yourself and emit a rippling effect of peaceful energy into the world.
Absolutely. Well, it's been wonderful again being with all of you. What's this, episode 9?
This is episode 9.
And we're growing with it too. What we're wanting to do is just why we tried the living room in just different places.
To find the best place.
Well, we just want to find a place where it's relaxed and that you can, not structure it and just let it be what it is.
Yeah.
And so I just know for us all that, woo-woo is not such a bad place to live, but beyond the woo-woo, there's always the wow-wow.
There is.
And you are all wow, in my opinion. And so...
and what do we know about them?
Well, we know right out of the gate, you are magnificent. And see you next time with another set design, wherever we'll be
and
next
another
week.
topic. So just remember, you are the quantum field. You make a difference. Aloha.
Aloha.
From woo-woo to wow. Bridging the gap between the mystical and the scientific.
The journey from out there to in here.
Join me, Dr. Patrick.
And me, Dr. Rita, as we make the seeming intangible
tangible.
This show will expand your mind.
Open your heart.
And make you say, wow!